So we split everything out. So we socially 6 feet apart.
Yes. We tested it multiple times. The video. Okay. Yeah. You're like, I'm good. One more hour, man. One more hour. Yeah. 10:05.
Remember me from the crew, the Christmas crew that we had when we just came up? Yes, it was. We moved it down to the district a little while. Yeah. But I want to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. As a courtesy, we ask that you please silence all electronic devices. Please also note that there is water available in the back, along with some hand sanitizer. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Lieutenant General Todd T. Semonite, welcome to the Pacific Ocean Division, United States Army Corps of Engineers Change of Command and Change of Responsibility ceremony. Today's ceremony marks the passing of the colors, the symbol of command from Brigadier General Thomas J. Tickner to Colonel Kirk E. Gibbs, and the transfer of responsibility from Command Sergeant Major Patrickson Toussaint to Command Sergeant Major Douglas W. Galick. At this time, we would like to recognize some of our distinguished guests who have joined us today in person and virtually. Please hold your applause until all the introductions have been completed. Lieutenant General Todd Semonite, Chief of Engineers and Commander, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Command Sergeant Major Bradley Houston, Command Sergeant Major, USACE. Major General Timothy McKeithen, Chief of Staff, U.S. Army Pacific. Major General Suzanne Veres-Lum, Mobilization Assistant to the Commander, U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. Command Sergeant Major Shane Shorter, Command Sergeant Major, Indo-PACOM, along with his wife Leslie Shorter. Major General David Wilson, Commander, 8th Theater Support Command. Command Sergeant Major Maurice Chaplin, Command Sergeant Major, 8th Theater Support Command, along with his wife Carmia Chaplin. Brigadier General Tracy Smith, Commanding General, 18th Medical Command, Deployment Support. Brigadier General Mark Haller, Commander, 94th Army Air and Missile Defense Command. Also in attendance are members of the Senior Executive Service, which is the equivalent of a general officer. This includes Mr. Evan Felsing, Foreign Policy Advisor, USAPAC. Our very own Mr. Damon Lilly, Programs Director, Pacific Ocean Division. Mr. Brian Kamisato, Regional Business Director, Pacific Ocean Division, along with his wife, Ms. Deborah Kamisato. Retired SES member Mr. Eugene Bond, former Programs Director, Pacific Ocean Division, along with his wife, Miss Sandra Bond. Retired SES member Mr. Gary Kitkowski, former Regional Business Director, Pacific Ocean Division, along with his wife, Miss Ari Kitkowski. Also in attendance is Colonel Jason Williams, Deputy Commander, Pacific Ocean Division. Colonel James Hoyman, former Honolulu District Commander. Colonel J. Scott Peterson, Acting Director, U.S. Army Installation Command, Pacific. Command Sergeant Major Walter Puckett, Command Sergeant Major, U.S. Army Installation Command, Pacific, along with his wife, Miss Kristen Puckett. We also would like to recognize all other commanders, Command Sergeants Major, family, and friends attending today's special event. Please join me in a round of applause in honor of our distinguished guests. At this time, Brigadier General Tickner will present lei to his wife, Sherry, and their 4 children. His children include Austin, Mason, and twins, Audrey, and Brooklyn. And last but not least, also receiving a lei today is their nanny, Miss Petra.
Hold this all together.
At this time, Command Sergeant Major Toussaint will present lei to his wife, Tanya. Along with his daughter, Shayana. And granddaughter, Amaya. The lei represents aloha and mahalo for being part of the Pacific Ocean Division Ohana. Colonel Gibbs' wife Kim and children Tyler, Kelsey, and Ryan are participating virtually today from Northern Virginia and will receive lei upon their arrival next year. Command Sergeant Major Galick will now present a lei to his wife, Veronica, and their son, Liam. The lei represents aloha and welcome to the Division Ohana. Today's ceremony is derived from our Army's first manual of ceremonies, the Blue Book, written in 1779 by Major General Baron von Steuben. The ceremony you are about to witness includes arrival of the official party, honors to the nation, change of command and change of responsibility, remarks, and conclusion. This ceremony has been modified to adhere to COVID-19 social distancing protocols. Today, the organizational colors will be passed by removing and placing them into empty stands, representing the traditional passing of the colors. We hope you enjoy this historic event. The reviewing officer for today's ceremony is Lieutenant General Todd T. Semonite, Chief of Engineers and Commander of the United States Army Corps of Engineers, who will preside over the ceremony virtually. Representing Lieutenant General Semonite today is Major General Timothy M. McKeithen, Chief of Staff, United States Army Pacific. Please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the rendering of honors, the playing of the national anthem, and the invocation given by Mr. Brad Scully, Acting Deputy for Programs and Project Management, Honolulu Engineer District. Lieutenant General Semonite has deferred honors to Brigadier General Tickner.
Good morning. Please join me as we talk to the Lord Father, our God. Lord, we're gathered here this morning to recognize the changing of the guard here at the Pacific Ocean Division. To thank Brigadier General Thomas Tickner and Command Sgt. Major Patrickson Toussaint for their service here and to send them on to their next duty assignments under your protection. And to welcome Colonel Kirk Gibbs and Sergeant Major Douglas Galick to the Pacific Ocean Division and the beautiful islands of Hawaii. Lord, please be with Sergeant Major Galick as he assumes the Sergeant Major responsibilities of the Pacific Ocean Division. This may be quite a challenge for such a fine soldier who for many years has led soldiers through intense training and in the combat environments of Iraq and Afghanistan. Lord, grant him patience for us. Most of us are not soldiers. We don't do dress right dress. Our basic load is a laptop computer, a cell phone, and a cup of coffee. Lord, so Sergeant Major Galick on how to be most effective as he joins a team that builds for our soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines. I also pray for your blessings and protection over his wife, Veronica, and their son, Liam. Allow them to truly enjoy their time together here in Hawaii. May our aloha reach out to them and make them part of our ohana, our family. Lord, we ask for your continued blessings on Sergeant Major Toussaint. He has been our Sergeant Major for over 2 years. Just as he has cared for soldiers in his previous positions, he has cared for us. He's been the commander's eyes and ears at the worker level of our 4 districts and division headquarters. Sergeant Major Toussaint is a man of compassion, a man of action, and a man of strong faith. Grant him wisdom and guide him as he moves on to his next assignment at our headquarters office in Washington, D.C. Use him to continue to impact lives for the better. We ask for your blessings and protection for his wife, Tanya, daughter, Cheyenne, and granddaughter, Amia. May they grow closer together as they face each day's joys and challenges together. Lord, grant Colonel Gibbs wisdom and understanding as he assumes the responsibilities of commander of the Pacific Ocean Division. As he leads a workforce of 1,700 U.S. civilians and military and Japanese and Korean nationals, guide him in our task to build for peace in the Pacific and to protect our islands, harbors, shorelines, and waterways. Please allow Colonel Gibbs, his wife Kimberly, and their children, Tyler, Kelsey, and Ryan, to enjoy the beauty and wonder that surrounds us here. May these islands be a refreshment and an amazing adventure for them as a family. Lord, we have been blessed to have Brigadier General Tickner as our commander, as our leader, as a key part of our Ohana. As he and his wife Sherry have welcomed so many into their home, always bringing people together, yes, and fun and good food, but develop relationships to help us do what we do better and to strengthen the bonds that reach across the Pacific to Japan, Korea, and so many other countries in Asia. Lord, I ask that you bring people into their lives that will make them better. New companions for Austin, Mason, Brooklyn, and Audrey to grow with, experience new discoveries, and new friendships to last a lifetime. Lord, we thank you for these 4 soldiers who have stood between us and evil. Out of a nation of over 300 million people, they are among the few who volunteered to put on the military uniform and stand on the front lines of freedom. And they did so in the countries of Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Albania, Kosovo, and Haiti, to bring peace to those distant lands, to make our world a better place. Grant them success as they strive in their new positions to do what is good, to do what is right. Lord, we ask that you would bless them and continue to watch over them and their families. In your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Brad, for those beautiful words. Please be seated. For the last 63 years, the Pacific Ocean Division has proudly fulfilled its commitment to delivering vital public and military engineering services with Indo-Asia Pacific partners, integrating capabilities to deliver engineering solutions that enable access, posture, and protection, providing water resource management and environmental stewardship, and disaster preparedness and response, all in order to promote security, deter aggression, and to develop and protect our nation's security. Today, we reaffirm that commitment with the time-honored tradition of Army change of command and change of responsibility ceremonies. The changes of command and responsibility are simple, traditional events that are rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the ceremony is the passing of the organizational colors. These colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the command, but also the commander's symbol of authority and responsibility to the organization, as well as the loyalty and unity of the soldiers and civilians. Wherever the commander is, there too are the colors. The custodian of the colors is the Command Sergeant Major, who is the senior enlisted soldier in the unit and principal advisor to the commander. Throughout history, commanders ensured their unit flags were carried by one of their most trusted officers. This practice was used in the United States Army until 1813, when the regulations were changed and the flag was entrusted to color sergeants or sergeants major. The passing of the colors symbolizes the transfer of authority and responsibility from the outgoing commander and command sergeant major to the incoming commander and command sergeant major. It also demonstrates to the soldiers and civilians of the organization that the mantle of leadership now passes to the new commander and command sergeant major, and with it, the loyalty of the workforce. By the authority of Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-5A, the undersigned assumes command of the Pacific Ocean Division, United States Army Corps of Engineers, Signed, Kirk Gibbs, Colonel, Engineer, Commanding. Command Sergeant Major Toussaint now places the organizational colors in the first empty flag stand in front of the flag line, representing the passing of the colors to the outgoing commander, Brigadier General Tickner, and his own relinquishment of responsibilities as Command Sergeant Major. Brigadier General Tickner, who also entrusted with the command of the Pacific Ocean Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers on 17 July 2017, will remove the organizational colors and place them in the next empty flag stand, symbolically relinquishing command. On behalf of Lieutenant General Semonite, Major General McKeithen will now remove the organizational colors and place them in the next empty flag stand, thereby entrusting Colonel Gibbs with the command and well-being of the workforce. Colonel Gibbs will now remove the organizational colors and place them in the next empty flag stand, signifying his assumption of command of the Pacific Ocean Division. Command Sergeant Major Galick will now remove the organizational colors and return them back to their original position, signifying his assumption of responsibility and his charge to maintain and safeguard them. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the monitor in your left front and the 54th Chief of Engineers and Commander of the United States Army Corps of Engineers, Lieutenant General Todd T. Semonite.
Well, I want to welcome everyone to this great venue we got that participated in a time-honored tradition of a change of command ceremony. I appreciate your flexibility as we ensure we are compliant with COVID-19 guidelines. And both Connie and I and Sergeant Major and Kim Houston are sorry we could not be there, but it is a great day to be able to honor these four great families. We are sorry that we couldn't get everybody together. One of the nice things about having ceremonies is bringing the entire team side by side and everybody shake and congratulate. So I would just take a little bit of time tonight and drop all four of these families a little note to say, hey, you're on, or come back on the net and let them know that you appreciate their service, because it's a big deal. And we want to talk a little bit about some of the great accomplishments of General Tickner and Sergeant Major Toussaint, but also we want to welcome in Colonel Kirk Gibbs and Command Sergeant Major Galick. Your participation in today's ceremony is a testament to the abundant relationships these great men have cultivated over the years. And thanks to everybody so hard who made this happen. Just the IT capabilities alone are a big deal, and a lot of great work by the POD team to have this. We're watching it on video here in Washington, D.C., and obviously it's a beautiful day and a beautiful venue out there. I want to make sure to recognize as many people who supported the leaders that we're honoring, the entire POD team, and also your valued stakeholders, including our partners, our contractors, and our end users of the projects and services you deliver. I must also thank our families, Tom and Command Sergeant Major Toussaint first, and then the Gibbs and the Galick families in a couple minutes. Tom and Sherry have been married 18 years. This will be their 10th move as a family. While Sherry worked full-time in asset management at the Fortune 500 company, she selflessly gave of her time and talents to provide significant support to both POD and the broader military community. Sherry engaged with dozens of international leaders and spouses to build trust, understanding, and cooperation among land forces in the region and promote a free and open Indo-Pacific. Sherry's genuine and compassionate demeanor made her a key player in building important connections with foreign delegates. Her contributions have left a lasting impact on the local engineer family, as well as many of the Corps' international partners. Tom and Sherry have 4 children. They're all sitting in the audience today. Austin is 17 years old and an upcoming senior in high school. He plays lacrosse, enjoys fishing and diving, and is looking at both Penn State and West Point for colleges. Mason is 13. He plays soccer, volleyball, and basketball, and enjoys hanging out with all of his friends. Brooklyn is 10. She enjoys swimming and playing the ukulele for her dad. And Audrey's also 10 years old. She enjoys lacrosse and swimming and wants to be an astronaut when she grows up. I've known Tom's mom, Helen, and Sherry's parents, George and Claire, since Tom took command of the Philadelphia district back in 2008. I understand that Helen is staying at home in Pennsylvania during this COVID crisis. Sadly, Tom's father, Bob, passed away a few years ago when Tom worked with me and was deployed to Afghanistan. Sherry's parents, George and Claire, live in New Jersey, just a few short distance away from Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn, New York. I look forward to seeing you next week when Tom takes command of the North Atlantic Division. Let me focus for a minute on Command Sgt. Major Toussaint's family. He and Tanya have been married for 26 years. This will be their 19th move, including five deployments. Tanya works for an insurance company as a financial services professional. Wherever they go, she provides free financial seminars. She also spends much of her time volunteering to help the homeless and domestic violence survivors. She also spearheaded the 4th chapter Spouses Cooking Club, and during COVID-19 crisis, she established health and resiliency initiatives for personnel across the island. Command Sergeant Major Toussaint and Tanya have one daughter, Jayana, who is a chef, and they have a 3-year-old granddaughter, Amia. None of these great leaders would have achieved their successes without the love and support of their local families and the passion and dedication of the workforce. And right before the event today, we had the opportunity to do an award ceremony, and I saw all of their families on the virtual award ceremony. It's just a great team. So an amazing couple. Let's talk for a minute about some of the ceremonial significance that you saw today. Change of Command really is a time-honored tradition. It serves to ensure that a unit is personnel and never without official leadership. The ceremony signifies continuity of trust, and it also signifies an allegiance of a unit's members to their commander and a commander's esteem for unit members. You have just seen several key symbolic events that signify this solemn occasion. You saw that transfer of authority when there was a written order published by which we officially arranged for a new leader to take charge. You saw the passing of the colors. It signifies the transfer of that power of authority. And Kirk Gibbs, when you grab that flag and put it over another flag stand, with that goes you as being responsible for everything that the unit does or fails to do. And it's not just the missions you accomplish, but all the aspirations of everybody in TOD, all the well wishes, all the things that need to happen. It was a heavy, heavy flag because with that, you and Command Sergeant Major Galick have a heavy mission to continue to move on. You saw this transfer of allegiance between the outgoing commander to the incoming commander, kind of a bittersweet allegiance. Teammates must remain focused on the mission. You must surely miss your outgoing commander, but you will adapt and thrive despite change, and you will respect the role of your incoming commander and the role that they play. Continuity of mission transition brings uncertainty and the potential loss of momentum, but they can also bring about innovation, new perspectives, and a renewed zeal. Both of these command teams were strategically chosen for their demonstrated leadership. And command of a division goes long beyond accountability for projects, for people, and for money. It's about driving revolutionary change, developing future strategic leaders, and serving as guardians of the Corps' world-class reputation. The men before you today are proven guardians of the Corps' credibility, leaders who develop solutions for the nation's toughest challenges while taking care of their people. I want to talk a little bit about all the great things that Tickner's and the Toussaint did while they're at POD. USACE is a world-class organization that completes difficult construction missions and responds to emerging threats. General Tickner and Sergeant Major Toussaint and the POD team have done a great job of advancing our reputation across USACE's largest area of responsibility, consisting of 4 districts: Alaska, Far East, Honolulu, and Japan. This diverse workforce of over 1,600 military, civilian, and local national team members executed an $11 billion program. Let me just talk about some of the highlights and the great work that the POD team has accomplished in the last couple of years. First of all, on the military side, POD completed operations, activities, and investments in the Indo-Pacific, providing a soft power approach to enhance access, influence, and strengthen alliances and partnerships. This approach supported U.S. efforts to compete in high-end adversaries through building partner capacity, humanitarian assistance construction, global peace operations initiative, foreign military sales, strategic partnerships, and international humanitarian assistance and disaster response. In the foreign military sales, POD manages the $320 million C-17 bed-down program in India. Tom has continued to support USAPAC planning initiatives in Thailand by deploying the 62nd PES team to conduct engineering surveys of striker-related facilities. In Japan, POD's pivotal leadership helped guide the Japan district execution of a $15 billion relocation of U.S. forces on mainland China and Okinawa. And then Tom provided key leadership in executing the $11 billion Yongsan relocation plan, constructing the new Camp Humphreys. One of Alaska's largest military construction programs is the F-35 bed-down program. It includes critical facilities for 2 fighter jet squadrons composed of 54 aircraft. 18 projects were awarded over 4 fiscal years. Tom spearheaded our efforts to continue on the Quality of Life Task Force at Fort Wainwright, Alaska, a program designed to improve the quality of garrison facilities where soldiers live and work, and consists of 4 construction projects and 1 barrack study. The Hawaii District maintains a large military construction and sustainment, restoration, and modernization program. One of the largest projects is the $400 million Homeland Defense Radar Hawaii. We also do an awful lot in the Corps when it comes to the interagency and international services. And by leveraging the entire Corps team, Tom provided Indo-PACOM, USAPAC, Department of State, and USAID a unique DoD tool that enabled alliances and partnerships with Indo-Pacific nations. DoD currently has 42 humanitarian assistance projects in various phases of 8 countries, within 8 countries. DoD is currently competing Global Peace Operations Initiative projects with UN peacekeeping training areas in Bangladesh and Mongolia. Tom's leadership in international partnerships led to POD's completing several highly visible and politically important projects, including the $5 million Laos National Institute of Nutrition. This 5-acre multi-purpose campus includes collaboration with USACE, Indo-PACOM, as well as the Laos Ministry of Health. The Honolulu District is implementing 57 projects in the federal states of Micronesia, water lines, medical clinics, and schools that enhance the economic development through education, health, and critical infrastructure. Prior to 2016, DoD had little to no touch points with the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, formerly known as Burma. However, in the last 4 years, USACE has executed 5 engagements, and they recently requested to enter a memorandum of agreement with us in the area of water security. That's a big win, Tom, for both us and for Indo-PACOM. The Civil War South supported the State Department by linking members of the Mekong River Commission with the Mississippi River Commission to develop the Mekong Basin Development Strategy. He strengthened relationships with members who were represented from Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam, and demonstrated U.S. support for their mission. Tom's leadership was indispensable in executing POD's Civil Works program, advocating for the water resource needs of the states of Alaska and Hawaii, the territories of Guam and American Samoa, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. Just this past February, I signed a Chiefs report to construct shipping canal improvements and safe access in the areas of Dutch Harbor, vicinity of Nome, Alaska, for $35 million. In Hawaii, Tom partnered with the Honolulu District to push forward on the Alawai Watershed Flood Risk Mitigation Project is engaging with senior leaders, build trust among the community through a shared understanding of a very, very critical project. And then finally, on disaster response, this year POD experienced busy hurricane typhoon season. Most notably was Super Typhoon Yutu. In support of FEMA, Tom deployed ESF-3 response team and the 249th Engineer Battalion soldiers to affected islands of Guam, American Samoa, and the Mariana Islands. As a result, DoD received an additional $13 million in supplemental funds to support areas affected by those catastrophic storms. And during the recent COVID-19 crisis, Tom provided the division decisive, firm, yet compassionate leadership. Capitalizing on the reinvigorated public affairs program, he engineered and ensured district commanders had appropriate public affairs preparations to engage partners and stakeholders at all levels. He did not hesitate to engage the governor and state adjutant general in Alaska, Hawaii, and Guam to ensure them that USACE was standing by to assist them in conjunction with FEMA and our other federal agencies. Talking about great leaders, Command Sgt. Major Toussaint played a critical role supporting Tom throughout all of those accomplishments I just mentioned. Great leader. He built sustaining relationship with the senior enlisted advisor across all of the Indo-Pacific, which were instrumental in POD's ability to understand partners and stakeholders' concerns. He forged strong relationships with senior enlisted advisors of the 8th Army, the 2nd Infantry Division, and U.S. Army Japan. Sergeant Major Toussaint emphasized to senior leaders the importance of maintaining Army standards even through the most trying circumstances. From the very beginning of the COVID-19 response, he ensured that leaders and the workforce were provided the latest information on protecting themselves, their family, and the command. As Tom's second pair of eyes, Command Sgt. Major Toussaint consistently engaged the workforce via one-on-one interactions, small groups, and town halls. He actively listened to the workforce, determining what was working and where the command could initiate change. His amazing ability to engender trust and his capacity as a skilled communicator enabled him to help the command maintain and achieve a high level of staff morale at all times, as evidenced in the Federal Employment Viewpoint Survey. Command Sgt. Toussaint acknowledged the importance of properly recognizing personnel for their achievements by championing DoD's civilian recognition program and effectively integrating new traditions honoring the workforce's dedication to duty and years of service. His positive attitude, can-do approach, and strong leadership increased DoD's strength to overcome obstacles and future challenges. Command Sergeant Major Toussaint is truly an inspirational and superior Army leader. Sergeant Major Toussaint and Tanya, great job at POD. Because of your outstanding performance at POD and demonstrated leader potential, I recently selected Command Sergeant Major Toussaint as the Corps of Engineers 14th Command Sergeant Major. I look forward to your arrival at Corps headquarters in the next couple of days and the ceremony on the 17th of July to officially put you in as the 14th Command Sergeant Major. Tom and Sherry, great job at POD. You demonstrated leadership skills and have proven that you can tackle the tough jobs. I look forward to seeing you in action in your new role as the North Atlantic Division Commander. While the Tickners and Toussaints are moving on, we're bringing in an amazing command team to take their place. Colonel Kirk and Kim Gibbs from the Corps headquarters in Washington, D.C., and Command Sergeant Major Doug and Veronica Galick are coming from Fort Leonard Wood. And let me talk a little bit about the new team. Kim and Kurt have been married for 26 years tomorrow. They have survived 12 military moves as a family. Kim and Kurt have 3 children. Tyler is 24. He's married his wife Megan in March in a COVID wedding with a larger ceremony planned for Labor Day weekend. Tyler is a youth pastor in Georgia at a large Assembly of God church. Kelsey's 20 and currently attending Nova Community College. Once she completes her second year, she and Kim will catch up with Kurt in Hawaii. Ryan is 15 and will finish his sophomore year in Northern Virginia. Will also move with Kim to Hawaii. Ryan's interests are football, lacrosse, fishing, and skateboarding. Kurt is coming to POD from his recent position as the USACE Chief of Staff. It was in this role I worked with him most closely. I've had the utmost trust and confidence in his leadership ability. He led our world-class organization through countless critical events that were decisive to our enterprise's success. Most notably was his remarkable coordination of critical staff elements during USACE COVID-19 response efforts. His leadership ensured synchronization of efforts across the enterprise, resulting in a coordinated USACE plan in response to the needs of state and local governments all across the nation. Kirk flawlessly organized, orchestrated, and oversaw the staff and major subordinate command deputies to keep senior leaders in the command informed of critical mission events. Joining Kurt as the new Command Sergeant Major is Command Sergeant Major Galick. He and his wife Veronica and their son Liam are coming to POD from his recent position as the Engineer School Regimental Command Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major Galick and Veronica will be a great addition to this awesome POD team. Colonel Gibbs and Sergeant Major Galick are truly the mark of all we ask for in our superstar engineer leaders. Gentlemen, you will be greatly valued in your role as you guide this important division to success in the next few years. In conclusion, just want to tell you how critical it is to have great leaders commanding divisions and sergeant majors being in our divisions. Serving as a commander and a command sergeant major is a tough and important job. Being a command team of a division doesn't happen by accident. It requires a highly motivated, agile leader to manage a tremendous volume of day-to-day business and facilitate the long-term success of great organizations. The right candidate is a strategist, an advisor, and a doer. General Tom Tickner, Command Sergeant Major Toussaint, Colonel Kirk Gibbs, and Command Sergeant Major Galick, you have proven time after time that you are the right leaders for the toughest jobs. I'm excited to see what you will accomplish in service to others in your new assignments. To the members of the great Pacific Ocean Division team, thank you for everything you do every day, delivering projects and programs on time and within budget for our stakeholders. I trust under Colonel Kirk Gibbs' command, you will continue to engineer solutions for this region's toughest challenges. Thank you, partners and guests, once again for celebrating with us today and working alongside us to achieve our mission. Essayons, Army strong, building strong.
Thank you, General Semonite. Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing Command Sergeant Major Patrickson Toussaint.
Well, let me first start off by saying aloha. All right, good morning, distinguished guests, stakeholders, federal, state, local, and agency partners, family, friends of the Pacific Ocean Division, whether here in person or joining us virtually, welcome and thank you for attending today's ceremony. First and foremost, I'd like to thank God for giving me the strength and health to wake up to such a great and significant day. Mr. Scully, thank you so much for these beautiful words and the many blessings requested to include this great weather. Thank you. So you have heard the Chief's remarks on the incredible accomplishments and contributions of the workforce. I'm certain you will hear additional meaningful thoughts from Brigadier General Tickner. Therefore, I will keep my remarks brief by simply saying thank you to some folks. If I'm unable to acknowledge you in person or by name, just know that we're grateful to have had you on this team and as partners. Lieutenant General Semonite, thank you so much for the kind words. I think you try to make me more than I truly am, but I appreciate it. To you and Command Sergeant Major Houston, thank you for trusting in my abilities to lead at this level. Your constant leadership, counsel has been incredible, and in large part, the reasons for the success of this division and our enterprise as a whole. Thank you for pushing us to revolutionize our systems and processes so we can deliver on the cost, ahead of schedule, and beyond expectations. To the USACE command teams, words alone cannot express our appreciation for the many services you provide in support of the POD workforce and family members. Thank you. To my fellow Command Sergeants Major, thank you for your support, camaraderie, and friendship, as well as the frank and tough discussions. You have certainly made this community a great place to live and work. We have an amazing group. Special thanks to my fellow CSMs from the USACE community. Thank you for the support and mentorship. Now, to the entire POD team, headquarters and the districts. I know you couldn't join us in person and you're watching virtually. Wow, what an amazing group of professionals. Your passion, enthusiasm, commitment to our people, mission, nation are reflected in your many accomplishments and programs you have delivered across the Pacific. Your dedication and engaged leadership has ensured that our stakeholders receive world-class facilities. With all that you have on your plates, when the nation called, you stepped up to the challenge and delivered. I watched you in awe during the most devastating natural disasters, and even today in COVID-19 pandemic response. Simply put, you are the best. In each of these efforts, our saying, "We bring the enterprise," was exhibited daily. Thank you for what you do. You are truly our nation's engineers, and you know how to engineer solutions to our nation's toughest challenges. A special thanks to the members from the Executive Office and our SCSs. You have been instrumental in everything that we do and are the glue that holds the organization together. Thank you for your selflessness and sacrifices you make each day to ensure all are taken care of. Brigadier General Tickner, how do I even begin to express my gratitude to you for selecting me as your Command Sergeant Major? During the interview process, you made clear your expectations of the individual occupying the office. At the end of the interview, I asked you to take a chance on me, and you did. I promised for as long as I occupy the office, I will do my best to maintain the integrity and the trust of the workforce. And since I sincerely hope that I have delivered and did not disappoint. Through your vision of inclusion and trust in leadership, you empowered and allowed us to do our jobs. You gave the office of the Command Sergeant Major the voice it needed. Thank you for your support, leadership, mentorship, and for your commitment to the soldiers, civilians, and the family members. You, Sherry, and the entire family have been amazing, and Tanya and I hope the friendship is lifelong. To the spouses and families, a special thank you for your contributions, devotion, and support to the workforce. We all know the significant sacrifices you make to keep the team together, and we cannot thank you enough. I'll be remiss if I did not take some time to acknowledge the folks who behind the scenes work diligently and had the flexibility to support in this event. Mahalo. Lastly, to my family, my mom, Evelyn, wife, Tanya, daughter, Shayana, granddaughter, Maya. We could not have achieved this success without your unconditional love and support. You are my motivation and drive, foundation that keeps me grounded. Thank you for always being my strength, and I love you all dearly. Pauline Arquez said, continuity gives us roots. Change gives us branches, letting us stretch and grow and meet higher heights. The change of responsibility represents exactly that. I have had the distinct pleasure of knowing and working with Sergeant Major Galick for over the last year or so. He's an amazing leader who leads with compassion and integrity. He is the perfect fit at the right time. Command Sergeant Major, I wish you, Veronica, and Liam continued success as you take the Army's best job, leading the men and women of this incredible organization. I know you will take them to higher heights. It has truly been an honor, and I thank each and every one of you for allowing me to serve on this amazing team. So thank you for all of your service, sacrifices, commitment to the division, our Army, this nation. My family and I wish you Godspeed and best wishes. Essayons, building strong, one team, people first.
Thank you, Command Sergeant Major Toussaint. Ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing commander, Brigadier General Thomas J. Tickner.
That's going to be tough to beat. Command Sergeant Major Toussaint, thank you. Aloha, what a great day. I thought it was going to be pouring rain, and my fellow general officers back on the mainland would look out here and say, oh, see how hard it is in POD? Evidently, that's not going to happen today. Distinguished guests, commanders, command sergeant majors, family, and friends of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Pacific Ocean Division. Thank you for attending today's change of command and responsibility ceremony. General Semonite, I'm deeply grateful for your kind words, close mentorship, steadfast leadership, it has meant a great deal to have you preside over several change of command ceremonies throughout my career. And I know that it's equally meaningful for Sherry, the kids, and the rest of my family watching from the mainland. My mother in particular has said that we knew General Semonite when he wasn't famous. And she's right. You've made a lasting impression on my family, and most certainly the nation. We are grateful for your revolutionary vision, distinctive leadership, boundless energy, and positive impact, especially through this unusual time in history. Looking out into the audience today, with only a fraction of our team in attendance and many watching online, I'm filled with mixed emotions. You have all touched my life in profound ways, and I hope to thank each of you in person. Yet I am grateful for technology, which continues to connect us like never before. But if the Army has taught me anything, it's great things never come from comfort zones. That's what makes the Pacific Ocean Division such an outstanding organization. We live and operate in one of the most complex environments on the globe. Yet the men and women of POD have always risen to unforeseen challenges of every kind, delivering life-saving engineering solutions in times of crisis on behalf of our nation, our allies, and partners. You accomplish this through delivery of complex military weapon systems that safeguard our precious liberties, designing flood risk mitigation plans to protect life and land, deepening our treasured alliances, and providing support to America's closest friends overseas. Your high-caliber professionalism never ceases to amaze me. As I reflect back on our time together, I'm blown away at all that we have accomplished together. Yet none of our successes would be possible if it was not for Ohana. Thank you to the families of the Pacific Ocean Division. Behind each of us is a stellar support system that provides the strength, courage, and purpose to face the challenges set before us. Without Ohana, especially during our challenging time, the mission could not be fulfilled. Yet your love, encouragement, and sacrifice make it possible for us to carry on that mission. I've had the honor and the privilege of meeting many of your families, and will cherish these memories dearly. Thank you for your commitment and for celebrating with all of us today. More personally, my own Ohana. As a dual working family with 4 children and a nanny and a dog, maintaining balance in the Tickner family has been more of a moving target than a fixed goal. It's not easy, but the positive attitudes of my family and willingness to go along for the ride has made every difference in the world to me. My beautiful wife, Sherry, who is an incredibly talented architect by day and an angel by night. Thank you for your steadfast love, trusted counsel, and unwavering support that I've come to rely upon. You would not believe how many times that I've come home and said, "Are you ready to go?" And Sherry would say, "Go where?" And then I would realize I failed to tell her about an important upcoming work event. You do an unbelievable job of balancing family and career, way better than I could ever do. I admire this and so many other things about you. And I am fortunate to call you my wife. And to our wonderful children, Austin, Mason, Audrey, and Brooklyn, I know this assignment has been a hardship tour for you, learning to surf with the help of Evan Ting, hiking up ridge lines or down to waterfalls, or kneeboarding and tubing in Kaneohe Bay with your friends. But somehow you made it through this tough assignment. All seriousness, being a military family can be tough, even in paradise. Yet you exemplify the strength, tenacity, resiliency that makes me proud to be your dad. There is still so much more adventure ahead of us, and I look forward to all that we will experience together. Thank you. On behalf of the Tickner family, we'd like to extend a big mahalo to the entire POD Ohana, who have truly become our family in the Pacific. Many of you have visited our home on Palm Circle, which we like to refer to as the Engineer House. It was there where we celebrated special occasions, welcomed many partners, both foreign and domestic, and built memories that we'll remember for years to come. We thank you for making this tour so special. I had the unique privilege of inviting my family along on a small handful of trips, and no matter where we went, you opened your arms to us, whether it was going to the Alaskan wilderness with my sons, where Dave Hobby showed us how to shoot and clean grouse, or bringing my daughters to Korea, where upon your recommendations, they enjoyed Latte World along with other Korean cultural sites, and being accompanied by Sherry to Japan, where she experienced culture alongside many of you. Each of our districts have always treated us like family. But I will especially cherish our time we spent at Bellows, where the Tickner family spent many weekends and even hosted several of our closest allies. Many POD picnics were also held at Bellows, where our families joined in on the fun, enjoying time together. These are among some of our most treasured memories on Oahu. It is meaningful engagements like these that make it all the more difficult to leave. Yet, I find solace in the fact that it's a small USACE world, and I know I will see many of you again in the future. Serving in the Pacific Ocean Division team for the past 3 years has been the highlight of my career, and I am deeply grateful for having been entrusted with the responsibility. We have the best, most dynamic workforce in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, plus one of the most unique missions in USACE. Colonel Gibbs, you are in for a wonderful treat, and I know that you will love this phenomenal organization just as much as I have. I'm also confident that you will take this organization to new heights of success and that the Pacific Ocean Division is in excellent hands. We've heard from General Semonite, who highlighted many of POD's incredible achievements, so I'd like to spend the remainder of my remarks expressing my heartfelt thanks and deep admiration to each of our districts, our partners, and finally our headquarters team here at POD. I invite you to sit back, relax, and join me on a virtual journey across the Pacific. Up first, we'll begin with the last frontier, to the Alaska District Team. Even before I held the role of POD commander, I have long admired you from afar. I'm not just referring to your pristine national parks, majestic Denali Park, or wild coastline. In my previous position up on the Hill in Washington, D.C., in the middle of a budget battle and a no new start continuing resolution, there was one single project that stood out, Missile Field Number 4. It took a little act of Congress, but the project moved forward because of the critical nature of the mission. Alaska District was put under the gun to execute the project, and fast. It became clear to me that this outstanding group of professionals were serious about program delivery and partnering like I've never seen before. I've seen the same tenacity continue forward in every way, from seeing the F-35 bed down project through some substantial completion, providing much needed structural assessments to communities and partners after the recent earthquake, and building the alternate care facilities required to meet the governor's response plan to COVID-19. I'm eager to see all that you accomplish in taking on new, exciting projects, from advancing Arctic security, humanitarian assistance, construction throughout the Indo-Pacific, and so much more. It has been an honor to have served with you. And now we return to our journey back to the 50th state. It's to its breathtaking beaches, sunrises, rainbows, and world-class waterfalls, to the Honolulu district. In some ways, you have one of the most challenging missions out of all our districts, being centrally located with POD headquarters. It's like the TDY visit that never ends. Yet the team takes it all in stride, and that's a credit to our great relationship. Thank you for your close communication, partnership, and collaboration that has multiplied our successes these past 3 years. Through navigation challenges, big and small, from Alawai, the new USAPAC headquarters, land retention, Honolulu Harbor, and so much more, your unmatched commitment to partnership is what sets you apart. It's the same commitment to partnership that will enable this team to continue experiencing success well into the future. I will especially continue to watch the team from afar as you bring the missile defense project to fruition in Hawaii. I, like so many others on Oahu, experienced the flood of emotion, uncertainty, and confusion that followed the 2018 false missile alert. For 20 minutes, I was huddled together with my wife and kids as we waited for a ballistic missile to hit somewhere in Hawaii. Even though the island-wide message ended up being false, it highlighted a harsh truth, that Hawaii was vulnerable. Thoughts of 9/11 and how our lives would dramatically change went through my mind. My daughter, Brooklyn, was asking for reassurance that all would be okay. Luckily, I had Drew Benzinger, my readiness contingency operation chief, calling me, and he was indicating that FEMA was not tracking an inbound missile, and I passed that on to better reassure Brooklyn. not sure if it helped or not. I have no doubt in my mind that the Honolulu District is more than up to this task. You have the right leaders, the right team members needed to continue building up upon these efforts for betterment of our nation and our allies throughout the Pacific. And now let's continue our journey crossing over the sea to the land of the rising sun with its fragrant cherry blossoms and snow-covered peaks of Mount Fuji. To the people of the Japan Engineer District, not just our Department of the Army civilians, but also our long-term partners, our Japanese national employees. I want to say thank you for your excellent work in the relocations, the build-up, and the consolidations of various efforts across Japan. Additionally, I'd like to note that some of the most revolutionary efforts produced out of POD during my time as commander has come from this outstanding district. Whether it's been out-of-the-box employee recognition programs or your work in identifying construction designs and materials that meet both U.S. and Japanese codes, this team takes it to the next level. Yet even beyond the high level of professionalism, your warm hospitality and friendship these past several years have been truly meaningful, not to mention a total cultural immersion. Many of you helped me appreciate the unique differences between sushi and sashimi, the etiquette of eating a blowfish, and even enjoying sake. This thanks also extends to our dear friends in the Japan Self-Defense Forces and the Japan Ministry of Defense. I am grateful for many of the engagements with Japan Director General Facilities and Installations, Tajaki-san, and his predecessor, Harai-san, that took place in Japan and right here in Hawaii. Our engineer-related engagements have deepened an already rock-steady alliance, and I am grateful to know that this friendship between our two countries and our organizations will continue on for what is sure to be generations to come. Yet another treasured alliance can be found across the Korean Strait and the Sea of Japan, in the land of the morning calm. With the diverse landscape ranging from Seoul's bustling, technologically wired metropolis, peaceful smaller towns, rich cultural heritage, and a shared history with the United States. This is where you'll find the men and women, military and civilian, and of course our bedrock Korean national employees of the Far East District. I've had the distinct privilege of seeing this team complete some of the biggest milestones in their long and celebrated history, such as the much anticipated significant completion and occupation of Camp Humphreys, a smart city that holds the distinction of being the largest U.S. overseas military base. I have personally witnessed the incredible commitment, dedication, and stamina needed to see this monumental project through to the finish line. I have seen firsthand what this mega project means to the Pacific security and on a macro level, as well as what it means on a smaller scale for service members and their families. Even still, what makes this achievement all the more incredible is that in the midst of this effort, the FED team completed a physical move from their old office tucked away in the middle of Seoul over to Camp Humphreys. Moves are never without complications, but even throughout this process, the team upheld their standard for excellence. I will also remember the kindness you showed my family. I had the pleasure of bringing the twins to Korea, where you helped us explore the delightful world of authentic Korean barbecue, introduced them to Korean beauty treatments, and many palaces, and the outdoor markets. I don't know how we ever got back on the plane to come home. Your heart for relationships extends beyond my family, building and maintaining valuable partnerships throughout the peninsula. I had the honor of participating in engagements with many Republic of Korea engineer leaders, whether in the Ministry of National Defense or our growing number of Korean agencies who partner with USACE. Our nations have much to learn from one another, and I'm pleased that we are working together across the Indo-Pacific. Yet even beyond our 4-district location, team members region-wide are engaging in diplomacy that strengthens our relationships in the Indo-Pacific and providing exceptional support to our partners. Two of the most memorable engagements for me will be participating in the Mekong River Commission and in the Government of Laos National Dam Safety Program. Both of these engagements brought multiple nations together around the universal topic of water, a topic that will continue to hold significant importance as our nations continue to pursue a free and open Indo-Pacific. And so we return from our virtual tour across the Pacific to where it began, right here, the Pacific Ocean Division headquarters at Fort Shafter, or as Sherry and I have called it for the past 3 years, home. This regional headquarters team took my family under their wings, teaching us the true meaning of Ohana. The people of POD perfectly embody the Aloha spirit, yet at the same time reflect all the wonderful characteristics that are found throughout the districts. The Alaska rugged tenacity, Hawaii's warm relationships, Japan's revolutionary approach, and Korea's long-standing commitment. You have taken your role in supporting the districts to heart, pouring out leadership, guidance, and assistance from afar to enhance an already dynamic team. We have called upon many of you to leverage your hard-earned experience to see us through times of critical change, crisis, or during ongoing operations. You weren't just about building structures, but were about building people and building teams. Because of this approach, the Pacific Ocean Division enjoys a high level of success that we have today in every facet of our mission. Our efforts directly support the national security strategy, the Department of Defense Indo-Pacific strategy. Yet among all of the achievements and accolades and praise, the thing I will most be proud to call you is friend. Thank you doesn't seem to do it justice, so instead I'll just say mahalo. I also need to say mahalo to my fellow senior leaders of POD for the past 3 years. First to Mr. Gene Bond and Gary Kukowski with us today, who taught me how an MSC truly leads. Second to my deputy commanders, Colonel Chris Listokey and currently Colonel Jason Williams. What great professional partners and confidants. You never steered me wrong or let us down. Mr. Damon Lilly and Brian Kamasato, you both have picked up the torch, and I look forward to seeing you both lead not just POD, but the enterprise as we take on challenges together. And finally, Jim Proctor, our Chief of Staff. Jim welcomed me into the division before I got here, got my family settled, and me off to a fast start. Before I close, there's one more person I want to thank. Someone that has been my closest advisor and most trusted confidant throughout this assignment. Not for projects and programs, but for our most valued resource, people. And that's Command Sgt. Major Patrickson Toussaint. When I selected Sergeant Major for the job, I did so because more than any other candidate, he perfectly embodied the characteristics of what I wanted to bring to POD. Passion for delivering projects and programs and taking care of people. I know that many of you have had the pleasure of meeting Command Sgt. Major Toussaint in person. He was known to visit even the most far remote locations throughout POD. When it comes to employee recognition, he's all in. This has helped to drive a culture of appreciation, reminding us that saying thanks is a simple yet powerful act. Treating people with dignity and respect, holding people accountable, and walking the talk are mainstays of his mentorship. Even in an organization like USACE, where civilians outnumber soldiers 100 to 1, Command Sgt. Major proves that his role is versatile, vital, and valuable. That's the kind of leadership we can all follow. Yes, I would be remiss if I did not mention Command Sgt. Major's most unique qualities. He's a darn good cook. But I'd be selling him short if I just said he could prepare a good meal. He also hunts his own game and knows how and when and where to forage for fruits and vegetables. All here on Fort Shafter. Command Sgt. Major Toussaint, you have been an outstanding leader at POD and are certain to make an even greater contributions USACE-wide. The Engineer Regiment is lucky to have you. Congratulations to you and Tanya on your next step. And to Command Sgt. Major Galick, while it might be cliche to say you truly have some big shoes to fill, yet I know you're up for the task. And I'm proud to say that one of my last decisions as Commanding General of POD was selecting you as its next Command Sergeant Major. From your extensive capability in construction to your most recent experience as the Command Sergeant Major of the Engineer Schoolhouse, and so much more, you have the right leadership, background, and know-how to farther posture us as subject matter experts on a global scale. Many of our Indo-Pacific international partners and allies seek our assistance on a wide range of engineering-related topics. Your institutional knowledge will prove valuable throughout this region and beyond. So in closing, as we turn the next page in POD's story, I will carry with me all that I've learned here. All that's left to say is thank you. Kamsahamnida, arigato, mahalo. Essayons, building strong.
Thank you, General Tickner. Ladies and gentlemen, the incoming Command Sergeant Major, Command Sergeant Major Douglas W. Galick.
Good morning, Lieutenant General Semonite, other distinguished guests, friends, family of Pacific Ocean Division of the United States Army Corps of Engineers. Thank you for attending today's ceremony. I'll keep this very short. It's truly an honor to join such an amazing organization. I'm very excited about the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead. I'm very much looking forward to meeting everybody, all the men and women of POD in person, learning what you do for the team, and more importantly, figuring out how I can help you accomplish all your missions. I would also be remiss if I didn't take an opportunity to thank some of the people that helped make this tremendous opportunity possible for me and my family. So to Brigadier General Tickner and Colonel Gibbs, thank you very much for entrusting me with such an enormous responsibility here in POD. It's very humbling to get another opportunity to serve. I know there were several very qualified and capable sergeants major to select from, and I'm extremely grateful that you selected me. So thank you very much, sir. To Sergeant Major Toussaint and Tanya, thank you both very much for the warm and gracious reception. Overseas moves are always very difficult, and in these troubling times, they can even be more stressful than usual. You made our transition very comfortable and welcoming. Words cannot express how much we appreciate your kindness, and we wish you both the great success in your next assignment. Lastly, I would like to thank my wife Veronica and our son Liam for joining me on this next journey. Our last few assignments have averaging about 15 months on station, so moves this frequent can be very tough on everybody in the family. So I appreciate the sacrifices that you guys have made. I love you both very much. Thank you all once again for attending today's ceremony. We could not be more excited to be here. Have a wonderful day. Be safe. Be kind to each other. Essayance, building strong.
Thank you, Command Sergeant Major Galick. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 34th Commander and Division Engineer of the Pacific Ocean Division, Colonel Kirk E. Gibbs.
Good morning. Aloha. It's so awesome to be here. What an amazing, amazing day. Distinguished guests, commanders, Command Sergeant Major, family and friends of the United States Army Corps of Engineers and the Pacific Ocean Division. Thank you for attending today's change of command and responsibility ceremony. It is absolutely an incredible honor to be here today with you all, and an absolute privilege to be taking command of the great Pacific Ocean Division. Many people have asked me if I've ever been to Hawaii, and so to be perfectly honest, my personal experience in this area goes back to 1999, when I spent 1 month in Korea on an exercise, and on the flight back, I had a 5-minute layover here in Honolulu. But I want you all to know I have no doubt in my mind that this is where I am supposed to be. I assure you that over the past 6 months, I have paid very close attention to the mission of POD and have studied everything I can get my hands on. I want to familiarize myself with this area of responsibility and the mission, and I have learned a great deal, and I appreciate General Tickner sending me a lot of email to help me along with that. I'm ready for the challenge, but most of all, I'm ready for the new relationships that we will develop and build within POD and with our many stakeholders. It's often hard to believe a small town guy from Missouri could be standing here today. And for those listening back home in Missouri online, I want you to know that I did not choose the St. Louis Cardinal red mic cover. Command Sergeant Major Toussaint just seemed to know that that's the one I wanted. The history of this division, I've learned a lot about recently. From Lieutenant John Slattery as the first Honolulu District Engineer back in 1905 to the establishment of this division in 1957. And they've had so many amazing leaders, to include Generals Hatch and Strock, who became future Chiefs of Engineers, and mentors to me, such as General Rick Stevens, General Jeff Milhorn, and General Tom Tickner. Pacific Ocean Division has always produced amazing results. I have learned an incredible amount about the history of this division over the past 14 days. Some of you may be aware I've had a little bit of time on my hands. And I try to take advantage of that, as my history office chief back in the headquarters sent me with the history from, I think, 1905 to 1980. So whether it's civil works, military construction, or the host nation work we have done and continue to do in Hawaii, Alaska, and the countries of Korea, Japan, and so many others, it's staggering what this organization has accomplished with phenomenal partners, phenomenal stakeholders over the last 115 years. And I just can't emphasize enough how special this opportunity is for me and my family. I promise I'm going to keep these comments short. I know we've been out here a little while, and the incoming guy's not supposed to be too long, but I've got to thank just a few people. First, I want to thank General Semonite for his faith in me and entrusting me with one of our MSCs. Sir, as your chief of staff over the past 2 years, I understand your priorities. I know how to take care of people, and I'm ready for this because of you. You've been an incredible leader for USACE over many years and have been the chief at the right time for our nation, and I saw that very closely over the past 2 years. I won't let you down. Thank you again, sir. I want to thank General Tom Tickner and Sherry for opening the division's door to me immediately upon the announcement that I would take command. Sir, although you were at Capstone, you sent an email immediately congratulating me and letting me know that I could reach out to any of the leaders at POD at any time. I wasn't expecting that. I don't think many leaders will offer that while you're still in command, but you did. And I'm convinced that's because you care so much for these people in this mission, you wanted to ensure I was ready. The time you have spent with me talking one-on-one over the past 2 weeks has been invaluable, and I thank you for every minute of that. All the best as you leave for New York to command our North Atlantic Division. I'm honored to be an MSC commander with you now. Sherry, although Kim isn't here today, we both thank you for opening your home to us virtually a few weeks ago. And as we try to figure out what I should bring and what I could do without until next summer when Kim and my son Ryan join me. The Tickner family is a special family. I know you all know that. And really looking forward to getting into that house too. Command Sergeant Major Toussaint, thank you for your leadership you have given to POD. I know the division thinks so highly of you, and I appreciate your mentorship of me from afar over the past 2 years. Command Sergeant Galick and I will serve you well out here as you move to headquarters to become our 14th Command Sergeant Major. Congratulations on that, and all the best to you. I want to thank my wife, Kim, and our kids, Tyler, Kelsey, and Ryan, as well as my new daughter-in-law, Megan. It's the first time I've been able to say that in any speech. Thanks so much for your love and support over the past 26 years. At least Kim has been there the whole time. It's hard to be here today without you all. It's our 4th command and the first time we've been separated for a ceremony such as this. As Kim maintains some stability for Kelsey and Ryan as they will have better transition points next summer, please know you are all in my heart today, and I would not have this opportunity without any of you. I want to thank my parents listening in today from Viburnum, Missouri. Tom and Phyllis Gibbs, who I also believe have been at every change of command ceremony with me until today. Your life lessons are what have me here. The value of working hard and treating everyone with respect. Thank you, and I love you both. And finally, I want to thank God for this opportunity. I still don't know why, but he continues to bless me, no matter how undeserving I may be. In closing, I want to thank POD's executive office for today, and the many other helpers who aren't in the executive office. I'm well aware, coming from headquarters, what it takes to put on a ceremony like this, and I appreciate the team back there at headquarters for all the work they did as well. When you transition commanders and command sergeants major, it makes it even a little more difficult. Absolute professionals with whom Command Sergeant Major Galick and I can't wait to work alongside. And to Sergeant Major Galick, Sergeant Major, you are a humble, caring, and professional leader in our regiment, and I am privileged to begin this command alongside you. So glad you're here. And finally, I want to speak very briefly to the employees, both civilian and military, within the Pacific Ocean Division in our 4 districts. You are getting an experienced leader with 21 years of combat engineering experience, followed by the past 5 years in USACE. Any inexperience I may have in the POD, AOR, or even within USACE, I promise I make up for with passion, hard work, and dedication to the people with whom I serve and lead. I can promise you are getting a leader who cares about people and one who gives maximum effort every single day with the goal of achieving greatness with this organization and delivering for the nation. I will give you nothing less than my very best over the coming months and hopefully years. That is my commitment to you. So honored to be part of the POD Ohana. Thank you to everyone who attended today. God bless, and essay ons, Army strong, building strong.
Thank you, Colonel Gibbs. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of Aloha Oi, the engineer song and the Army song. In an effort to comply with social distancing protocol and preventing any virus spread, we ask that you refrain from singing. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Lieutenant General Semonite, thank you for your attendance at today's Change of Command and Change of Responsibility ceremony. We also would like to say mahalo again to all who supported today's historic occasion. This concludes our ceremony. Mahalo and aloha.